start hitting record. Let's just take a look at 3.1's worksheet. I think problem number 1 and probably problem number 2, you're okay with all of those being labeled. Or is there any questions on 1 or 2? 6. Man with not his homework. I got you. Yeah, baby. All right, okay. So 1 and 2, no problems. So let's go after that. Is there anything for on the front page up through number 6? Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this. Number 3. Okay. So this could work a couple of different ways. This line could be the transversal to these two lines. This line could be the transversal to these two lines. Either one of these could be the transversal for these diagonal lines. So if I were to say, I could say that 3 and 5 are alternate interior angles. 2 and 4 are also alternate interior angles. So the red is alternate interior. Is that right? And then I could also state, so then from there, I could then say that 3, those are corresponding, and this, those are corresponding. So corresponding will be in black. And that just means they're in the same spot. And that's using this line and this line, and that is a transversal, or that is a transversal. Same side interior, or the purple. So this and this are same side interior, and this are same side interior. This and this are also same side interior. If you wanted to go with that. I don't have any alternate exterior up there. So nothing's really outside of it. I mean, 3 and 4 are technically outside of these parallels, or these lines, but not enough to justify it. Is that okay? Other questions from the worksheet? Even on the back side. Yeah. 7. Find the measure of each number angle, if possible. Remember, you may not assume that these are parallel lines. So I know that this angle has to also be 110 degrees because those are vertical angles to each other. And then I could state that this angle plus this angle have to add to 180 because they're a linear pair. So this angle has to be 70 degrees. And then obviously that would be a linear pair as well. Angle 3 is equal to angle 4, or it's congruent to it, but I don't have enough information to state I know what those angles actually would be, because I don't have enough information to say that that's a parallel line to that. Okay? Does that make sense? What else? Yeah?
We won't ever be doing proofs with these, will we?
Yeah. Dude, oh, you kidding? Thanks, man. All right. What other questions we have from 3-1? Either side. We're good? Make sure your name is on each page. Thank you. Pick that up really quick. Do what? And pass them on forward, please. You're welcome to staple them if you'd like, or you can just make sure your name's on both. Either thing is fine. Thank you. Any more homework out yonder? Put the name on it. Makes it easier to grade. Rather than get the hate email. My son said he turned it in. Oh, you're right. All right. So, a few things. Your test grades will be put in by tomorrow morning. So when I get here at 5, I grade until about 5:45. I know you guys are jealous. So, oh, it's awesome. There's nobody on the road driving here. There's nobody in the building. I love it. There's an owl that's outside the window that I can hear hooting when I'm there. Is it called hooting? I don't know. So I'll have that. So your class is already completely graded. I just haven't put it in the grade book yet. And then I have the back page to grade of my 6th period. And then that should only take about 10 minutes, and then I'll total it up and put it in the grade book. Schoology, had a few questions that came off that. So those Schoology assignments are worth 4 points. Okay, so and they go into the quiz category, which can help you if you do them. If you don't do them, then it could kind of take away from you a little bit. But it's only 4 points, so most of our quizzes are worth like between 40 and 50 points. So it's like 10 to 12 of those Schoology things become one quiz. Okay, so I want to go over 3.2 with y'all. And I goofed up. I had 2 separate pieces of paper that were given to me. One of them was the worked out versions of all of our problems, and one was the blank one. Well, when I got to 59 out of 60 copies, I realized I copied the wrong ones for you. So rather than destroy the forests, I just kind of, you guys already have the ones that are filled out, which I don't think is going to harm you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so Section 30, angle relations for transversals through. The difference this week is parallel lines. Remember, if I have 2 lines with a line going through each one, that line's called a transversal. Now we're going to create the lines to be parallel to each other. We're going to extend our understanding of angle relationships formed by transversal and include those informed when lines are parallel. Cool. All right. So classify the indicated pairs. You guys all have the work already done, but what can you tell me about 1 and 8? What kind of angles? Yeah. Yeah, it's on the outside, the alternating other side, so alternate exterior. What about 1 and 9? Yeah. Corresponding, so they're falling into the same region. Angles. And then 6 and 16. 6 and 16. So here's my 2 lines. This is now the transversal, so they look like what? Alternate what? Alternate interior. Then let's change color and get too much of that. 12 and 13. So here and here. So you have 2 lines, and this is now the transversal. And they are also alternate, or no, not consecutive interior. And then angle 2 and 3. They are a linear pair. Do they have something different? Linear pair was right? Sweet. And And then 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Those are vertical angles. So the vertical angles you always know are equal. Linear pair always add up to 180. But unless they tell you anything about the lines being parallel or not, that's going to where we're able to take this a little bit further. So I don't think there's anything more on this page. Good. When two lines that do not intersect, when are two lines that do not intersect parallel? We will indicate parallel lines with the arrows and lines. Okay, so is there an uncover here? Or is there an answer there? What does it say? When they are in the same plane. Okay? So if you have two lines that are on the floor is the same plane as itself. Two lines that don't intersect that are on the floor, they're parallel. Two lines on the ceiling, they don't intersect, or do not intersect, they're parallel. Two planes on this wall don't intersect, they're parallel. So they have to be on the same plane. Okay? If, that's all I have there. So what is the term that we use when they are not coplanar? They're called skew lines. I know that's already written in for you. So a skew line is basically if I drew a line on this wall and I drew a line on that wall, these walls are parallel to each other. The lines aren't necessarily parallel to each other, and they also won't intersect. But we have to realize that because they're skew, and so if I were to draw using this diagram, I could say, well, I have a line here on the side, and then I have a line here on this other side. And those two lines are definitely not parallel to each other, but they also won't intersect each other. So we have to realize that skew lines do not lie in the same plane. May I move on? Yeah! What is this? It's a clip, huh? Cool. Exploration. Oh, okay. Use the lines on your line paper to draw two parallel lines. Use your plastic to compare the measures of the four angles. What's your plastic? Is that your compass? Is there something else on this thing that I'm not seeing? Oh. They had a oh, okay. So what they're trying to lead you on in this is this type of thing. Change colors. Two orange lines and they're transversal. If these two lines, if we had this drawn correctly, if we knew that these two lines were parallel to each other, that means that the corresponding angles are equal to each other. And these are all the corresponding angles. Okay, those are all corresponding angles are equal to each other. Okay. If I were to say alternate exterior angles, these are equal to each other in this scenario. Alternate exterior are equal and we have parallel lines. If I go with alternate interior angles are also equal to each other. And then if you went with same side interior would add up to 180 degrees. So, and that's if your two orange lines were parallel to each other. Cool? We cannot prove that any of these angles are congruent, so we start with the postulate, and I think you guys have that. Oops. Whoa, hey, stop. What is this? Okay. What is this? Okay. Two lines, if two parallel lines are cut by transversal, then the corresponding angles are congruent. Which says parallel lines, corresponding angles, congruent. And I know you guys have that on yours already, right? I know, man. I goofed it. Made it easy. You don't have to worry about notes. Oh, and then somebody asked, are we going to do proofs on this kind of stuff? Yep. All right. What can we prove now that we have a postulate to build on? They tell us that P and Q are parallel. And then we want to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So, your givens. How many steps did they do the proof in? 4. Oh my gosh. All right. So then I could state that number 2. What was our theorem we just said? Two line corresponding angles. Okay. So we got to go off the corresponding angles. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because of corresponding angles.
Wait, is it to angle 3?
Whoa. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Man, I tell you, 1 and 3, I'll tell you what. You slip on the pavement one time and don't have a helmet on. So, other things we could probably state, we have 1 and 3 because of parallel lines are corresponding angles. And then they go to angle 3 and 2. Oh, that's just vertical angles. So 3, they can go with the vertical angles. And then from there, you can, yeah, they're kind of doing a little bit of dirty math here because they're not doing equals. We'll play their game. So 1 is congruent to 3, 2 is congruent to 3. So I can then say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and that's our old transitive property. And again, we're playing dirty math here. We're not setting the equalities up, okay? But it is what it is. Yeah.
Wait, I thought for it to be transitive, you have to have 3 equal. 2 or more. Oh, 2 or more.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, so you just have to have
A is equal to B, B is equal to C, A equals C. Okay. Seem okay so far? Yeah, I did the proof in their amount of time. All right, so then we just, uh-oh, here we go.
Where's the audio?
Oh. Oh, is there audio? There's no audio clip. Man, we got
You didn't put in an audio clip?
Dude, sorry. There wasn't a little speaker thing. It was just balloons bouncing. If two lines parallel are cut by transversal, then the pairs of alternate interior angles are congruent. This is theorem 3.1. Okay, so parallel lines, if we have two lines parallel, they're cut by transversal, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. That's theorem 3.1. So you can put on a proof theorem 3.1 if you know it as that, or you could just describe it as alternate interior angles. What would I prefer? I don't know. I would say that knowing that theorem 3.1 doesn't match up with textbooks, so it's better if you knew the concept versus just giving me the thing. But I'm not going to mark you wrong if you go 3.1. Can we prove this one? Yeah, well, it's here on the paper, dudes. Well, we don't waste time. Let's go have some barbecue. No?
Let's have a Bobby.
All right, P and Q are parallel. It's imperative that we know this. 1 and 2 are congruent. So I can go angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. And I can state that. How did they state it? So those are corresponding angles, so it looks like I went out of order from them. Corresponding parallel. And then for 3, I could go that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3 because we got our old verticals. So they flip-flop what I had. And then transitive property. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Transitive. For those of you who are trying to figure out the water drop, you have to use your tongue to push the water out of your mouth. Go. Then you go. It works all kinds of ways. Sorry, you guys are all getting offended by me. What's the relationship between angles 1 and 2? Alternate exterior. We just got goofy. We lost the class already. Alright, we proved another one. Yay! If 2 parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then their pairs of alternate exterior angles are congruent. So parallel lines give us alternate exterior angles are congruent. Yes. You guys like making noises. Can you make this noise?
Oh, Jesus.
No, it had nothing to do with that one. That was boredom on a plane. I can whistle a different way. I'm a blessing on a road trip. I've been left at more truck stops with my buddies, so then I started choosing to drive myself.
You should go to the bathroom and they're like, what in the world? And you just like,
I should go to the bathroom and make noises.
no, like, no, like on a plane. And you should just like be there.
I don't want to get taken off the plane by the security people. All right, now another proof. N and P are parallel. Woo-hoo. I'm tired of writing that. Purple. Okay, prove 1 is supplementary to 2. So I could state that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. And those are alternate interior angles with parallel. And then we could then easily state that number 3, angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180. Linear pair. I don't know if that's what they went with, but we'll just play with it. And then I could then state that let's see, angle 2 plus angle 1 is equal to 180. Substitution. And then we could easily state that 1 and 2 are supplementary. Angle 1 is a sub. I don't know what reason they're giving. I don't even know where we're at. Oh, there we go. What'd I do? Who's sleeping? We shave his eyebrows off.
I told him
As you
to
guys
let Willie
suggested,
in.
draw
You know how great that'd be?
Poor Willie. He shouldn't be all wet. Alright, they said that angle 3 is supplementary to angle 2, which we basically stated here, so I think it's okay for us to state that. So I like definition of supplementary angles. Where I would have went. Why is Ben sleeping, man?
I'm tired.
It's a perfect excuse.
I never knew such a thing.
Alright. You guessed it, we just proved another theorem. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
These are quick notes, I think, today. Alright. So if 2 parallel lines are cut by a transversal and the pairs of consecutive interior angles are supplementary, so they add up to 180 degrees. Cool. And I know you have that. And then use the postulate and theorems in the problem-solving situations. Find x. What kind of angles might we have? It is kind of a linear pair. Why can we say it's a linear pair? We could then state like this is 135 degrees because they told us lines are parallel. We have corresponding angles. And then we can go x minus 30 plus 135 equals 180. So that gives us x plus 105 equals 180. So x equals 75 degrees. Find x. Find x, found it.
Oh no, you missed the other one.
Say what?
There's another X. There's like a lot more.
There.
You missed the other 3 on the.
Oh yeah, the ones that I added.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
I got you.
You are awesome. Example 2. That's what it originally looks like. There's a whole lot of stuff on yours. Okay, so this line's parallel to this line. So this angle, that's also 2y, if you wanted to go with that. What?
And it'd also be 5x.
What's 5x?
That and 2y.
Oh, it's also 5x?
And then
Oh.
5x and 2y.
Oh, wait. So that way you could go this. What's that going to be equal to? 5x plus minus 10.
19x.
But that's going to be equal to what and why? Because that would be this angle and this angle would add up to be 180, right? 19x minus 10 equals 180. 19x equals 190. X equals 10. So if you knew that x is equal to 10, then you can make that 50. That would mean that 2y has to equal 50, which would then mean that y has to equal 25. And that means that one has to be 50 then. Sweet! So x equals 10 and y equals 25. I love it when my answers are the same as what's on the thing. So using a little algebra on this. And then this one, we have the top line, the bottom line are parallel to each other. I could say that this angle and this angle have to be equal because of the hiccups. That's the reason. So those are alternate interior angles. So x is equal to 13. And once I know x is equal to 13, that would tell me if that's perpendicular, that's perpendicular. So let's see. 3y plus 2 plus 52, because 4x is equal to 52, is equal to 90. So 3y plus 54 equals 90. 3y equals 36. Y equals 12. Sweet. And that is all I have. Sorry that I had your notes already on there, so some of you were bored. Dude, I do what I can. So, is it out of control if I say that 3.2a is due tomorrow?
We do Wednesday. We do Wednesday.
We do Friday.
Start it now.
Okay.
You got plenty of time. Please don't line up by the door.